Hello and good day everyone. We are the Group 5 and today we are going to present the topic of helminths and annelids of farm fish. So, let's start. Cestodes. So, although we frequently assume that non-human animals like rats, bats, dogs, and other are carrier of various infectious organisms, many individuals are unaware such as themselves may harbor a variety of such a germs. So, this cestode is also attached into the animals like fishes and crustacean, and many people are not aware about these cestodes. So what is cestodes? The praise tapeworm is used to refer the medically significant parasitic worms of the taxonomic class of cestoda. The cestoda which people can harbor in their intestine and subsequently spread to the other people. So cestode is a tapeworm, and hina-harbor niya yung intestine ng mga tao. And here, makikita nyo dito sa right side, ito yung picture na tapeworm. So, cestode are classified in the cestoda. So, simply, ang tawag sa kanya is tapeworm. So, as you can see, makita nyo dyan, yan yung tapeworm. Next. Why the cestode frequently refer as to be tapeworm is due to the segment tape-like form so thereby. So ito na nga. So bakit ba tinawag na cestode yung tapeworms? Or bakit ba tinawag na tapeworm yung cestode? So it's due to the segmented tape-like form or their body. So kung babalikan natin yung kanina, kung makikita natin is yung itsura ng cestode or yung looks niya is yung para siyang mahaba lang siya na segmented yung pagkaka-form ng body niya, para siyang tape-like. And yun nga, mas mare-refer siya natin na tapeworm kasi isa siyang worms na mahaba. So, cestodes have a sucker on their head which referred to as calyx. These suckers are utilized to cling to an individual digestive system on their heads. Certain cestodes also feature hooks. So, ito nga, yung cestodes, meron silang sucker sa kanilang head na yung pinapang-infect nila dun sa digestive system ng mga tao. And yung kadalasang mga yung kadalasang looks nila, yung may suckers sila, and yung meron sila itong future sa kanilang may I include na yung future nila is may hooks sa nila. And next, in the contrary of popular beliefs, people don't actually have cestode in their own digestive tract. Instead, they utilize skin layer absorption nutrient. Ito nga. So, yung nila is utilize nila yung pag-absorb ng nutrients sa digestive tract ng tao by infecting it. Kinukuha nila yung nutrients. So, another thing that cestode lack a body cavity instead of internal organ are suspended by spongy cell and fill their interior. So, kung mapapansin natin dun sa picture is yung cestode nga is wala silang a body cavity. Instead, the internal organs are suspended by spongy cell. So, spongy cell and fill their interior. So, yun lang yung nila, yung composition niya. And all cestodes are endoparasitic creature with a life cycle that comprise a number of intermediate hosts and definitive hosts, which is typically a vertebrates. They almost always parasite and digestive tract or supporting organs. So, ito nga, yung endoparasitic creature sila. And yung utilize nila yung mga intermediate hosts. So, kapag sinabi natin ng intermediate host is yung mga host na na pinupunta nila para lang makapunta sila sa kanilang host. And yung sa life cycle nila is kung babalikan natin yung mga napag-aralan natin nung nakaraan doon sa topic na yung pre-set ng ibang group, nung another group 4 ata yun, is yung yung life cycle is nagko-consist sila ng intermediate host na yung cestode na nanggagaling sa tao and mag-hatch, and then makakarry siya sa water, tapos and then pupunta sila sa fish or crustacean na doon nila i-utilize. Yun yung tatawag na intermediate host. And then kapag nakain yun ng tao, yung cestode mapupunta sa sa digestive system nila, na yun naman yung atakihin nila na kukunin nila yung nutrients, and then yung so on mababalik lang dun sa ganong sa ganong cycle. So kailangan nila yun para mabuhay, para makomplete. If one of that ay hindi ma-fulfill, hindi sila mabubuhay. So, again, yun lamang. And additional lang is yung for parang diagnosis pala nito is yung sa studies kung mapapansin nyo dun sa human is magkakaroon siya ng digestive infection na magkakaroon siya ng yun nga pagka-loss ng nutrients and yung pagkaroon ng diarrhea. Microsporidian. So, microsporidian are parasitic fungus that most grown inside of the cell of produce spores. So, they have the capacity to infect a wide variety of animal species. They can infect a variety of human organs, including the eyes. They are widespread around the globe and are regarded as an emerging source of infectious disease, particularly in group of patients who are immunocompromised. A singular polar tube that coil around inside of the spores serve as their distinctive invasive organelle, further defining them. They are widespread organisms that are probably waterborne or zoonotic in origin. So, Microsporidian is ito daw yung mga fungus na nag-grow siya inside the cell and nagpuproduce siya ng spore. So, meron siyang capacity na maka-infect ng wide variety of animal species including human, fish, crustacean, and etc. So these microsporidian can be found on the emerging diseases. So sila yung nagkukos ng widespread of emerging diseases around the globe. So particularly ang ine-infect nila is yung mga patient na immunocompromised. So when we say yung immunocompromised, so weak yung immune system nila or mahina yung immune system nila. So they are most viable dito sa microsporidian. So isa silang single polar tube that coils around the inside of the spore. So yun nga, sa distinctive animal organelle yun. And they can be probably found in the waterborne or zoonotic origin. So doon sila nagmumula. So another is microsporidian of parasitic fungus are source of the infection known as microsporidosis.
Morning, I'm Lloyd Estrella and I'm continue to discuss the subtopic nematodes. Nematodes, sometimes known as roundworms, are multicellular organisms that fall within the phylum Nematoda. They are more popularly known as roundworms and are present in nearly all environments, including soil, snowy tundras, hot deserts, inside of plants and animals, and aquatic ecosystem. Just a handful of rich dirt can have several thousand of these tiny worms. So, sinasabi po dyan, yung nematodes po ay tinatawag ring roundworms. Karamihan sa mga roundworms ay mga parasite. And sabi din dyan, multicellular organism or yung organism that consists more than a single cell. And tinatawag na nga siyang roundworms na makikita natin sa ating environment, katulad na lamang ng sa lupa, sa snowy tundra, sa mga desyerto, sa ating mga plants and animals, at maging sa ating aquatic ecosystem. So, nasa buong kapaligiran po wala natin itong nematodes.
Mysosporean. The Mysosporea are a class of microscopic parasites belonging to the Mysozoa. They have a complex life cycle that involves vegetative stages in two hosts, usually an aquatic invertebrate and an ectothermic vertebrate, often an annelid. Different hosts emit distinct spore kinds. Due to how differently the two spore types differ from one another, it was previously believed that they belong to different Mysozoa classes. Mysosporea are obligatory endoparasites that require other organisms to survive. Inside the host, Mysosporea proliferate in enormous numbers, producing cysts that can severely harm the areas that are afflicted. The sweep bladder, fins, spinal column, and internal organs are only a few examples of the many places where they can be found. Next is the Acanthozephalan. Acanthozephala, a parasitic worm, provides an intriguing glimpse into the inventive ways in which different species have evolved to survive. These worms are lifelong parasites that only receive their sustenance from their host. To finish their life cycle, they require two different kinds of host. A parasitic worm with thorn-like or spiny heads is known as an Acanthozephalan. They get their name from their shape and are frequently dubbed thorny-headed worms. Acantha is Greek for thorn, and Sephalan means head. Their proboscis, which has numerous rings of backward curving spines that they employ to attach themselves to the walls of their host's digestive tract, gives them the name spiny-headed worms or occasionally thorny-headed worms. Muscle contraction can cause the proboscis to retract within the body wall, but hydraulic pressure can cause it to evert or stretch once more. The medium-sized phylum Acanthosephala contains worms that are typically tiny, parasitic, and unsegmented. They are aquatic worms that can be found in both freshwater and saltwater. They are all parasites that live and eat inside their host's gastrointestinal tracts. Their intermediate host is typically an arthropod, such as crustacean or an insect, and their primary host is typically a fish. Although fish serve as the bulk of Acanthosephalan's primary host, these parasites can also infect amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. They are infrequently discovered in individuals who unintentionally become infected. Acanthosephalans are not regarded as hazardous or economically significant and cause little harm to the host they parasitize. Symptoms of Acanthosephala. Early or minor infections frequently have no symptoms. However, abdominal pain and digestive issues are typical indications of more serious infections. Because the Acanthosephalan's proboscis pierces the host's intestinal wall, pain may be very intense. Treatment of these worms. Common antiparasitic or anthelmintics like parental pomote are used to treat acanthocephaliasis. Prevention of Acanthosephala. Educating the general people about the dangers of eating cockroaches and beetles as food is a common strategy for preventing acanthocephaliasis infections. It is important to teach children to avoid putting insects in their mouths. Mysozoans. The phylum Cnidaria, which also includes sea anemones, box jellies, corals, genuine jellies, sepens, and hydrozoans, comprises a class of microscopic, oligocellular, obligate endoparasites known as mysozoa. Among the most prevalent parasites in nature are mysozoans. Two hosts, an invertebrate, typically an annelid, and a vertebrate, typically a fish, are required for their life cycles. They pose a threat to fish farming as well as fish species in their natural habitats. They can parasitize and harm a variety of organs through various techniques, including mucosal tissues, which they also exploit as entry points. The intestine, skin, and gills of fish are the three primary mucosal locations. Mysozoa are a unique class of endoparasitic cnidarians that can have detrimental impacts on the environment and the economy. Mysozoans still possess the phylum-defining stinging organelles known as cnidae or polar capsules, which are crucial for starting host infection, although being drastically decreased in comparison to free-living cnidarians. Both marine and freshwater fish are frequently infected by parasites called mysozoans. They are mostly located in the muscle, brain, and gallbladder of the fish that serve as their host. Some mysozoan species have the ability to kill fish. The development of tiny but noticeable white cysts in the muscle, which render fillet ugly and unappetizing and hence unmarketable, is one example of a non-lethal consequence.
Ang mga leech or limatic or linta ay mga Annelida na bumubuo sa subclass Herodinea. Mayroon mga limatic na pantubig, tabang, panlupa, at pandagat. So, meron din mga lintang nagmumula sa mga kailugan at latian. Paghahanap ng pagkain, malumani silang gumagalaw sa tubig. Bagaman bihira silang lumikha ng mga sopistikadong komunidad, sila karaniwang matatagpuan sa mga pangkat.
A leech looks like a big, glossy black earthworm. It has two suckers at each end, a solid segmented body with tapered endpoints, and segments with tapered ends. The leech uses its suction cups to adhere to an animal's skin before sucking its blood. A leech often has 2 or 3 rows of tiny teeth. The small size of these teeth is part of the reason why we can feel a leech bite. Some gardeners who take care of natural ponds add leeches to them because they are an essential part of pond ecosystems. They act as a vital food source and clean up the carcasses of dead animals. Pond and fish keepers must use caution while choosing the leech, though. Some leeches cause fish harm by sucking their blood, which can weaken or illend the fish.